industrial sector. Under this, we are going to discuss about Industrial Policy Resolution of 1956, Industrial Licensing Policy, Small Scale Industries, and Industrial Development. Let me see one by one. Under this resolution, it classified industries into three categories. First category included most important industries, that is, which were reserved for the public sector. Example, iron and steel, railways, air transport, and atomic energy, etc. Second category consisted of less important industry where public and private sectors would coexist. Example, drugs, fertilizers, road transport, shipping, etc. The third category included all the remaining industries which were left from the private sector. Example, cosmetics, soap and detergent, cool drinks, etc. Industrial licensing policy. Industries need license for establishing new industries, for expansion of their industry and diversification, launching of new products and adoption of new technology. And what are the aims of industrial licensing policy? First one is achieving regional equality. Government wanted that the industry should be started at all places and not concentrated at few centers. Government gave special concessions for starting industries in the backward areas. Next, to avoid overproduction. Government wanted to utilize the limited resources of the country in the best possible manner, and they therefore wanted to avoid overproduction. In 1955, the Village and Small Scale Industries Committee, also called the CAR Committee, noted the possibility of using small scale industries for promoting rural development. A small scale industry is defined with reference to the maximum investment allowed on the assets of a unit. This limit has changed over a period of time. In 1950, the investment is only 5 lakh. Now it is allowed that rupees 1 crore. Advantages of small scale industries. More employment generation as labor intensive technologies used in agriculture. Then simple skills are required which even illiterate persons can learn. Next, small capital requirement establishing the industries. So many people could afford it. Next, the regional equality can be achieved as these industries can be established anywhere in the country. Next, rural development is possible as a small scale industries are flexible and can complement the agriculture farm work. Government have given many incentives for establishing the small scale industries. First, protection from competition where with large firms by reserving some products for them. Next, lower excise duty was levied. Next, bank loans are available at lower rate of interest. Now, we will discuss the industrial development during this period. Proportion of GDP contributed by the industrial sector increased from 11.8% in 1950-51 to 24.6% in 1991. 6% annual growth of industries during this period was achieved. Industrial sector became well diversified largely because of public sector. Promotion of small scale industries helped the persons who did not have the capital to start the business. Protection from foreign competition led to development of indigenous industries in the area of electronic and automobile sectors. In foreign trade, the government followed the policy of import substitution and export promotion. Imports were restricted as the emphasis was on self-reliance. For achieving the objective of self-reliance, the strategy of import substitution and export promotion was adopted. What is import substitution? It means import of goods should be replaced by government production. High import duties are imposed to protect the domestic producers from foreign competition. Next, export promotion. It means growth of exports for earning more foreign exchange. It improves the terms of trade. In short, the strategy means the government tries to restrict imports and promote export. Protection from imports took two forms. First one is tariff and next is the quotas. Tariffs are a tax on imported goods. They make imported goods more expensive and discourage their use. Quotas specify the quantity of goods which can be imported. The effect of tariff and quotas is that they restricted imports and therefore protect the domestic firm from foreign competition. Developmental strategy from 1950 to 1990. Following were the main components of the developmental strategy. More importance to public sector. Most important industries such as coal mining, steel, power, atomic energy, defense and railways were reserved for the public sector. Control over private sector. The private sector was subject to controls and regulations by the government. License or government permission was necessary for establishing any industry. It was considered necessary to avoid concentration of resources and wealth in a few hands. Import substitution and export promotion. In foreign trade, the government followed the policy of import substitution and export promotion. Imports were restricted as the emphasis was on self-reliance. For achieving the objective of self-reliance, the strategy of import substitution and export promotion was adopted. Import substitution means import of goods should be replaced by government production. High import duties are imposed to protect the domestic producers from foreign competition. Export promotion means growth of exports for earning more foreign exchange. It improves the terms of trade. Evaluation of planning strategy. Under this, we are going to discuss the problems associated with industrial licensing policy, public sector, and with the foreign trade policy. First, problems associated with industrial licensing policy. First problem, it lead to widespread corruption by the government officials in the exchange of license. Next, it hampered the growth of private sector which was not able to expand at the desired level. And it was not suitable to motivate the entrepreneurs to adopt new technology and launch new product. Next, problems related to public sector. The public sector enterprises, especially the state electricity boards, were running in heavy losses. Next, there were delays in completion of projects and increase in cost of the projects under the public sector. Next, because of the monopoly power of the public sector undertakings, it did not try to reduce their cost or improve their quality of the goods and services which they would have done in the presence of competition. Management of the public sector undertakings have been very inefficient. Problems associated with foreign trade policy. The policy of import substitution and export promotion was not successful, because of which the policy of globalization was adopted. It had the following problems. The policy of import substitution was expansive. With increasing interdependence between different countries, it became difficult to maintain import restrictions. Next, the technologies are growing rapidly all over the world. In order to keep pace with it, it became necessary to have free trade. And last, India became the member of World Trade Organization and it became necessary to remove import restrictions and have comparatively free trade. Now we conclude the lesson. The progress of the Indian economy during the first 7 plan was impressive. Our industries became far more diversified compared to the situation at independence. And India became self sufficient in food production thanks to the Green Revolution. However, many economists became dissatisfied with the performance of many public sector enterprises. Excessive government regulations prevented growth of the entrepreneurship. And in the name of self reliance, our producers were protected against foreign competition.